This is PERUSE TV for your extraordinary content.
Has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
These were some of the words spoken by His Excellency, the former and first democratically elected black president of South Africa, Mr. Nelson Madiba Mandela the late, in one of his iconic speeches, praising the benefits of sports in changing and shaping the world, especially among the youth. Welcome once again to PERUSE TV, the channel of infotainment where every single word is not only informative but also entertaining. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more informative videos. In today's video, we are looking at the life of the most beloved man on this earth, who is known for his ingenuousness. Please watch to the end. Madiba Mandela was born into the Madiba clan in the village of Mvezo in the Eastern Cape on July 18th of 1918. His mother was Nongafi Nosekeni and his father was Nkosi Mfakanyiswa Gadla Mandela, principal counselor to the acting king of the Tembu people, Jongintaba Dalindyebo. In 1930, when he was just 12 years old, his father died and the younger Raha became a ward of Jongintaba at the Great Palace in Mukezweni. Hearing the elders' stories of his ancestors' valor during the wars of resistance, Mandela dreamed also of making his own contribution to the freedom struggle of his people. He attended the primary school in Yokono, where his teacher, Miss Mudingane, had to give him a name, Nelson, in accordance with the custom of giving all school children Christian names. He completed his junior certificate at Clarkbury Boarding Institute and went on to Hildy Town. He was later in a secondary school of some repute, where he matriculated. Mandela began his studies for a Bachelor of Arts degree at the University College of Fort Hare, but he did not complete the degree here as he was expelled for joining in a student protest. On his return to a great place at the Mukezweni, the king was furious and said if he didn't return to Fort Hare, he would arrange wives for him and his cousin Justice. They ran away to Johannesburg instead, arriving there in 1941. There he worked as a mine security officer, and after meeting Walter Sisulu, an estate agent, he was introduced to Leza Sidleski. He then did his articles through a firm of attorneys, Whitkin, Elderman, and Sidleski. He completed his Bachelor's of Arts through the University of South Africa and went back at Fort Hare for his graduation in 1943. Meanwhile, Mandela began studying for an LLB at the University of Witwatersrand. By his own admission, he was a poor student and left the university in 1952 without graduating. He only started studying again through the University of London after his imprisonment of 1962, but he also did not complete that degree. In 1989, while in the last month of his imprisonment, Mandela obtained an LLB through the University of South Africa and graduated in absentia at a ceremony in Cape Town. How Mandela entered politics. Mandela, while increasingly politically involved from 1942, he only joined the African National Congress in 1944, where he helped to form the ANC Youth League. In 1944, it's the same year that he married Walter Sisulu's cousin, Evelyn Massey, who was a nurse at the time. They had two sons, Madiba Thembekile, known as Tembi, and Mukagatho, and two daughters, both called Mukaziwe. The first of whom died in infancy. He and his wife got divorced in 1958, leaving Mandela single again. Mandela rose through the ranks of the ANC-YL, and through its efforts, the ANC adopted a more radical mass-based policy, the Program of Action, in 1949. In 1952, he was chosen as the national volunteer-in-chief of the Defiance campaign, with Maulivi Kachalia as his deputy. This campaign of civil disobedience against 6 unjust laws was a joint program between the ANC and the South African Indian Congress. He and the 19 others were charged under the Suppression of Communism Act for their part in the campaign and sentenced to 9 months of hard labor, suspended for 2 years also. A 2-year diploma in law on top of his Bachelor of Arts allowed Mandela to practice law, and in August 1952 he and Oliver Tambo established South Africa's first black-owned law firm in the 1950s, the Mandela and Tambo. At the end of 1952, he was banned for the first time. As a restricted person, he was only permitted to watch in secret as the Freedom Charter was adopted in Cape Town on the 26th of June 1955. Mandela was arrested in a countrywide police swoop on 5th December 1956, which led to the 1956 treason trial. Men and women of all races found themselves in the dock in the marathon trial that only ended when the last 28 accused, including Mandela, were acquitted on 29th of March in 1961. On the 21st of March 1960, the police killed 69 unarmed people in a protest in Sharpeville against the pass laws. This led to the country's first state of emergency and the banning of the ANC and the Pan-Africanist Congress on 8th of April. Mandela and his colleagues in the treason trial were among thousands detained during the state of emergency. During the trial, Mandela again married a social worker, Winnie Madikizela, on the 14th of June 1958. They had 2 daughters, Zenani and Zindisizwa, and the couple again divorced in 1996. The days before the end of the treason trial, Mandela traveled to Pietermaritzburg to speak at the All in Africa conference, which resolved that he should write to Prime Minister Verwoerd requesting a national convention, a non-racial constitution, and to warn that should he not agree, there will be a national strike against South Africa becoming a republic. After he and his colleagues were acquitted in a treason trial, Mandela went underground and began planning a national strike for 29, 30 and 35. The first massive mobilization of state security strike. The strike was called off early in June of 1961. He was asked to lead the armed struggle and helped to establish Umkhonto weSizwe, which translates to Spear of the Nation, which launched on the 16th of December 1961 with a series of explosives. On the 11th of January 1962, using the adopted name David Mutsomai, Mandela secretly left South Africa and traveled around Africa and visited England to gain support for the armed struggle. He received military training in Morocco and Ethiopia and returned to South Africa in July 1962. He was arrested in a police roadblock outside Howick on the 5th of August while returning from KwaZulu-Natal, where he had briefly briefed the ANC President Chief Albert Luthuli about his trip. He was charged with leaving the country without a permit and inciting workers to strike. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, which he began serving at the Pretoria local prison. On the 27th of May 1963, he was transferred to Robben Island and returned to Pretoria on the 12th of June. Within a month, police raided Lily's Leaf, a secret hideout in Rivonia, Johannesburg, used by the ANC and Communist Party activists, and several of his comrades were arrested. On the 9th of October 1963, Mandela joined the 10 others on trial for sabotage in what became known as the Rivonia trial. While facing the death penalty, his words to the court at the end of his famous speech from the dock on the 20th of April 1964 became immortalized, and these words read, "I have fought against white denomination, and I have fought against black denomination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if need be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Those were his words, quoted in 1964. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 others accused Walter Sisulu, Ahmed Kathrada, Govan Mbeki, Raymond Mhalaba, Dennis Goldberg, Elias Motsoledi, and Andrew Mlangeni were convicted and the next day were sentenced to life imprisonment. Goldberg was sent to Pretoria prison because he was white, while the others went to Robben Island, which was especially for the blacks. Mandela's mother died in 1968, and his eldest son, Thembi, also in 1969. He was not allowed to attend their funeral though. On the 31st of March 1982, Mandela was transferred to Pollsmoor prison in Cape Town with Sisulu, Mhalaba, and Mlangeni. Kathrada joined them in October. When he returned to the prison in November of 1985 after prostate surgery, Mandela was held alone. Justice Minister Kobe Coetsee visited him in hospital. Later, Mandela initiated talks about an ultimate meeting between the apartheid government and the ANC party. Mandela's release from prison. On the 12th of August 1988, he was taken to hospital where he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. After more than 3 months in 2 hospitals, he was transferred on 7th of December of 1988 to a house at Victor Verster prison near Paarl, where he spent his last 14 months of imprisonment. He was released from its gates on Sunday, 11th of February 1990, 9 days after the unbanning of the ANC and the PSC, and nearly 4 months after the release of his remaining Rivonia comrades. Throughout his imprisonment, he had rejected at least 3 conditional offers of release. This showed his determination to fight for the black people and the black freedom. Mandela immersed himself in official talks to end the white minority rule, and in 1991 he was elected an ANC president to replace his ailing friend Oliver Tambo. In 1993, he and President F.W. de Klerk jointly won the Nobel Peace Prize, and on the 27th of April 1994, he voted for the first time in his life. His presidency. On 10th of May 1994, he was inaugurated as South Africa's first democratically elected black president. On his 80th birthday in 1998, he married again Graça Machel, his 3rd wife. True to his promise, Mandela stepped down in 1999 after 1 term as president of 5 years. He continued to work with the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund he set up in 1995 and established the Nelson Mandela Foundation and the Mandela Rhodes Foundation. And in April of 2007, his grandson Mandela was installed as head of the Mvezo Traditional Council at a ceremony at the Mvezo Great Place. Nelson Mandela never wavered in his devotion to democracy, equality and learning. Despite terrible provocations, he never answered racism with racism. His life is an inspiration to all who are oppressed and deprived, and to all who are opposed to oppression and deprivation. Nelson Mandela died at his home in Johannesburg on the 5th of December 2013, and this ended all his life. But his legacy is still celebrated today. That's all we heard about the life of Nelson Mandela, a man beloved by almost everyone in the world. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, share and comment. See you in the next episode. I sign out. Bye bye.
Stay informed.